Hello, this is Susan from Skills for Exams, and this is another episode of my series, Elements of Speaking. In this series, we explore the different features of speaking performance which help you or your students become more articulate, flexible language-wise, and better equipped for an exam. The name of today's video is in part tribute to the recently celebrated Halloween, but more importantly, it's one of the techniques I employ quite often in the lessons with my students. They will recognize it immediately. This role play of devil's advocate. What do we mean by this? When you play devil's advocate, you do not necessarily agree to what your partner has said, or you do not embrace the idea readily and support it by default. Why do we need it? Well, first of all, if you have to deal with a situation when your partner has elaborated on the topic to the extent that you have little to say. Secondly, in my view, if you are dealing with the task in this, so to speak, blinkered way, that actually hinders the progress of your speaking, and it's far more exciting to look for new ways of addressing the task. So, how do we go about it? I've picked a few statements we have recently discussed with our students, and let us look at them from a different angle. First, let's look, for example, at this statement. Visiting unfamiliar places beats the tried and tested package tours. This is very much clear and beyond dispute. These days we celebrate the idea of going off the beaten track and doing something out of the ordinary because we are looking for new experiences and there are means to gain them. On the other hand, sometimes we are limited even in our food choices when we go to those far-flung corners, not to mention the usual standards of comfort. Wouldn't it be better to dive into the experience of all-inclusive deal where you can leisurely sip the cocktail on the beach and think about nothing, because it is the rest at the end of the day that we are looking for when we're going on holiday. And here is another one. Charities do a world of good. Surely, being an active citizen and taking an active part in the well-being of your community or society is a very important thing. But on the other hand, there are quite a lot of issues we can think about when we talk about charities. For instance, in its essence, charities very often perform the work of the government, thus in the long run making the government somewhat lazy or reluctant to deal with the issues. Secondly, charities themselves are pretty limited and they cannot see the full picture. For instance, certain funds might be better addressed to the areas which are currently overlooked and neglected. And another thing, charities quite often target symptoms, not the causes. Thus, they may even exacerbate the problem in the long run. Lastly, social networking sites have had a major negative impact on our lives. Again, this is true, but not entirely. On the one hand, we can always think of this doom scrolling that adds to anxiety, the fear of missing out, which again results in mental health problems. We can think of the risk of being exposed, the scrutiny when you are online, and all these privacy issues. On the other hand, it is a proliferation of tools we have been using that have appeared thanks to the technological change and social media. The speed of information exchange and, well, let's face it, educational facilities, because I imagine you're watching this video online. So, what I'm saying is, there is never a right or wrong answer, of course, and one thing I want to point out is that you shouldn't readily embrace what is suggested, but instead try to think of the subject from different perspectives. And by doing so, you will be able to demonstrate again your language knowledge and your organizational skills, which will be very beneficial for your exam performance. I'm going to post some more provocative statements in the comments below this video. You're very welcome to join the discussion. I would love to hear and to see your suggestions about the topics. Let's do this together. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I do hope to see you soon.